this month. It's worth noting baseball's relationship with American presidents is almost as old as the game itself. Joining me now is former White House speechwriter, author of a new book, The Presidents and the Pastime, Mr. Curt Smith. Welcome, sir.
Ed, thanks for being able to invite me, and great to be with you.
I could talk baseball with you all night. I want to start the conversation this way, though, because one of our producers, Lou, is a big baseball fan like me and collects memorabilia, probably more than we should have, in the basement, in the closet, in the drawer, and everywhere else. But he found this program that he collected, the Washington Senators 1971. It's got all kinds of players, and it has Richard Nixon, the president, who was obviously quite controversial, right in the center of it. The idea that baseball, and the presidents have been at the center of it all. But today, the idea of Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton being on the cover of the Nationals or the Yankees magazine is insane. It's not possible.
I saw the poster earlier, and the poster's a classic. Nixon was a great fan. There was an endearing Walter Mitty quality to him. He was offered the commissionership of baseball, as well as the director of the Players Union in 1965, but turned them down because, as he later said, he had other plans. The other plans were winning the presidency in 1968. And he threw a great all-star game bash in 1969 when the last prior all-star game came to Washington, D.C. And in fact, Hank Aaron said that Nixon knew more about the game than many of the officials in the game. So that's where we were, and that's where we are today as we come back to Washington. A great deal has changed, but not baseball's allure.
So 1971 wasn't that long ago, but I got to say, 2001, it was much more recent. You think about George W. Bush at Yankee Stadium, and presidents have used baseball with that first pitch he threw. Derek Jeter was there and brought the country together. And baseball has had that ability. It just sort of pains me that whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, that many of them can't throw out the first pitch now because half the stadium is booing them.
Well, I think there's a plague on both of their houses. Certainly Donald Trump, I think some of his rhetoric has exacerbated that division, but certainly the resistance says it all in and of itself. They came to the division of the last 2 years, and they were determined that they would not say a nice word about Donald Trump, and they have been true to that vow. I think both sides should cool it. I think both sides should say, let's play ball. And it would be nice if Donald Trump, incidentally, great baseball fan that he has been, he grew up on the Yankees, Harrison Mantle. He, in fact, played baseball for the New York Military Academy in the 1960s. The Philadelphia Phillies and my Boston Red Sox both wanted to sign him. I didn't know if you knew that. He could have been a major league ball player. Yes,
so Donald Trump had a shot to be a major leaguer?
Not simply a shot, but both the Red Sox and the Phillies wanted to sign him. But as he said memorably, and how prophetic is this? He said, I didn't want to make baseball money. I wanted to make real money. And you know, Ed, real money he made. But he's a great fan. As you know, he threw out the first ball before becoming president at the Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, at Wrigley Field. I think, without being asked, that Donald Trump could do himself a great deal of good, the game a great deal of good, the country by getting out there at the All-Star game this year and opening day next year, putting on his jacket, hitting the mound, and throwing that first pitch.
I hope he does it. I'm going to be with him in Finland the day before, and then I'm going to race back so I can take my son to the All-Star game in Washington. I hope it all comes together. We'll see if the president does that. Final question, Bush 41, President Bush 41. We've all been thinking about him in recent months, the passing of his wife. He was a great baseball player at Yale and is really somebody. I remember him inviting Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams to the White House. He loves baseball.
Oh, yes. That was the President's Award. I wrote the citations and the text for that. President's Award, he cooked it up, never given before, never given since. I think you can make a case that he was the greatest fan ever to be President of the United States, and very probably the greatest player, because, as you know, a scintillating fielder and the captain of his Yale baseball team that made the first 2 College World Series. God bless him, he still loves the game at 94.
Well, that's right. He was a lefty first baseman, as I recall, at Yale, like myself. Not at Yale, but a lefty first baseman. Curt Smith, good luck with the book. Your stories are wonderful. We appreciate it.
Ed, thank you.